thank you all for coming. This is one of these situations where Neal and I would typically be doing an interview podcast, but just to have some special loves and friends here is really terrific. And I am incredibly honored by having Neal here. And those of you that don't know Neal, I'm just going to see anyone that may not know of Neal's. He's an extraordinary communication strategist and has helped in presidential campaigns and governors' campaigns and
a race for dog catcher.
And a race for That's right.
But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about design your age.
Well, like I said in this note, it's been about 6.5 years that I started on this journey, as they say, and it was one of those things that has stuck on my shoulder, like I talk about, as a demonic Jiminy Cricket that just says keep talking about it. And it is, to me, one of the most exciting things I've ever seen in my career, and it's so deeply related to my career in terms of how we see ourselves. And if we see ourselves as which we do, we see ourselves as outwardly as some kind of product. I mean, imagine if we see ourselves as it's the same way we see ourselves as a Jaguar automobile or a Bentley or this cologne or this clothing.
Or Model T in my case.
Well, yeah, I think that there's a very secret stealth fast vehicle that people don't know about you, but it is such a fantastic wide open area of interest. And the point about this book came out because of my work in advertising, and the next advertising campaign that came up, it was like the flavor of the month, and it lasted and then went away.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things. I was reading a book as I was on a trip to these islands off the coast of Seattle.
Yeah.
And
the Orcas Islands.
Yes, this was to Friday Harbor.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess I was just at that moment in time where I was just curious about the world. My eyes were wider open, and I met a lady who was the mother of a friend of mine who was a teacher. She was 84 years old, and she was standing next to her Subaru station wagon, and ready to pick me up as it came off of this ferry boat. And I'm going, how's this lady 84 years old? I mean, just energetically, and the way that she was talking to me and so on. And went over to her house where I stayed, and she says, my boyfriend's coming over, he's 92. So the thing is, I'm thinking about who's driving this guy over here. So this gentleman comes up, he's dressed in like this REI outfit, perfectly looks fine, does not look out of place. He's got these gold rimmed glasses. He's about 6'7". He had worked as an outside contractor for NASA in developing lenses on spacecrafts for astronauts to take photographs of as long as they were out in space. And he sticks out his hand, he says, how the hell are you? And I'm just like, I don't know how I was so flabbergasted and taken back that the woman came over to me and whispered in my ear. She said, Tuck, there's a lot of us on the island. Like I'm in some science fiction. So that really started it, because I started thinking about where are all these books about these individuals, and I really couldn't find it in the traditional literature. It was either about diet. It was extremely patronizing information out there about let's respect our elders, and Neal, I realize those are three of the worst words that are out there, because I see such an unbelievable opportunity to help create a culture, new culture, so older individuals can respect themselves again from the onslaught of youth as our God.
Fascinating now that you've applied those words and that perception to what you're doing today. That's really ingenious because it's not been done.
Well, in certain time periods it has been. And the idea, I'm not really sure when the shift started happening where we started clustering older individuals away and they were put like white pigeons in a cage.
Senior citizens.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the trouble. That there's an opportunity for new language. There's a woman that is in San Francisco who came up with the name perennial as opposed to senior. I use the word the new older. I use the word potential being.
Yeah.
And it's really suffocating for new language. New language, new films, new stories, new art, and new, I'll even say, new technologies that are exciting. It's almost like sounds odd, but how do you bring cool to this area? How do you bring design